Hi, I'm Julia Bruton. This is about We Are Woman, a podcast exploring female and new aspects on the topic of VR.
I have Siza Mukwedini from Zimbabwe talking to me today. Hello, Siza.
Hi, how are you, Julia? It's really nice to meet you, and thank you so much for inviting us.
Yes, definitely. I was super excited when we got in touch over Facebook, which is a cool tool to basically connect. And because our listeners, I would like to hear a little bit more who you are and what is your background. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to the work at Matamba Film Labs?
Okay, so I'm Siza Mukwedini, as you said. So I started off, in fact, I'm a film and content producer. I produce documentaries on social pertinent issues to do with women, issues to do with just development, and I'm with a niche, of course, on just telling our African stories from our own voices. So that's what I do. And then I also worked as an editor for quite a long time, and I was always interested in motion graphics and what else can we do with new mediums just to tell our stories. So I followed a friend again on Facebook who was doing all these amazing 360 projection mappings on buildings. And then I kept probing and asking him about if that was virtual reality, and because I was really curious. And then he decided, okay, I actually need to put you in touch with people who are doing virtual reality, because with the work that you're doing back home, and I know that you actually inspire a lot of women who are creatives, how about you actually connect them to new media, to VR as an opportunity, because it's a fairly new medium, and you know what, it could actually be an opportunity. I thought, not a bad idea at all. So we actually had also just started running Matamba Film Labs for women, with the main core of just providing them with skills training for major production roles, like where they are a producer or a director, or because down here our film industry is quite dormant. So when you get women, they are, they're coming on as makeup artists. So not that I'm saying there's anything bad. They'll come as an assistant, or as a makeup artist, or as someone who does the craft services, but no major roles really. And that was a point of concern for me, because you can only count like, oh, we've got Siza, we've got Rumbi, we've got Siza, we've got like a very few women that were actually spearheading production at a major role. That's also regionally and internationally. And I was not happy about that. I decided, no, you know what? The parents actually pay a lot of money for these young women to go to school to pursue a career in film, but they end up working in a shop. So we decided to do a research. So we got a bit of support from the British Council Wales. We actually got the grant, and said we want to explore, we also want to partner. So we partnered with this organization called 4Pi Productions, that they were doing VR in Wales. And then when you also went out to then start getting people to just tell them about us, we got this organization called Marshmallow Laser Feast, who also supported us with quite a lot of headsets. Because we're like, okay, we don't even know where to start. We don't even have headsets. We don't even, what do we do? And, support just started coming in. And then we were able to do that research with the grant from the British Council. And when we did the research, we were asking why are our local women creatives not participating in digital tech tools to enhance their storytelling capacities? What was the problem? Or actually just take it back, why is it that you start with a class of 50 young women doing film studies or media studies, and then at the end, when they graduate, you're only left with 4. When they get into industry, only 1 is actually still pursuing a film career. And then when we got that, it had issues to do with safe working spaces, because we get a lot of exploitation in Africa. It's still a patriarchal society. So you need to, sleep with someone so that you get a role. But I was fortunate enough that when I started my career, I never had to do any of those things, you know. I never had to, I guess in quotes, slip my way up. Opportunities were coming, and I had the right amount of support. So that's when I decided, okay, we can actually start. The other core was that there was very limited access to equipment. They also had family responsibilities that, when you get $1,000, you are not going to go buy a headset. You're not going to go buy a VR-ready computer or a gaming computer. You're probably going to pay school fees or deal with responsibilities at home, and yet your male counterpart is going to go and get the equipment he needs. And then there was also just not that much support, as in people working in silos. People don't know, okay, I need support. You know how virtual reality gets complicated sometimes when you're in production. You can't figure out how to do something in Unity or in Blender, or you need these assets and you just don't know what to do, and you can't ask anyone. Because again, here being a patriarchal society, when you go and ask, there are very few men that actually want to help. When you ask them, then they'll be like, okay, let me come, let me help you. The rest will be like, no, I don't know. They want to. No, we've had even opportunities where we went out looking for work as Matamba, and we say to people, we can provide these services for you. We can actually do some virtual reality showcases or training, safety training. And the next thing you hear, the guy has said, oh, I went and bought those headsets. Yeah, I can do it myself. Just because you're women. It's really a patriarchal, funny society. But anyway.
Is this also a topic with the women that you work with when you see what stories they want to tell? Do they also address this topic within their stories?
Some do. You can, even if they're not, they subconsciously are, addressing these issues that, I want to break out, I want to be free, I can do this, but there are these hurdles in front of me. So it comes out in the stories that they're telling, or in them, which is actually really interesting. Right now we are in incubation. We've got 3 women that we are incubating that are producing stories, and you see the femininity coming out, and such a beautiful thing, because one is creating a story on mother's kitchen hut. It's something that's very symbolic. In our African societies, a kitchen hut, because that's mother's room. Like mothers spend most of their time in the kitchen, but the family also just comes and just works around her. So it's a central point in a family setup. And then we also have one who's doing a game on a little bird and her mother, and they're trying to get to a land called Forward Ever, but they're facing so many hurdles to be able to get there. And then the third one is actually doing a story on a mother and a daughter. It's a traditional folklore whereby a mother, it's like an African Hansel and Gretel, yeah, something like that. But this one and her mother used to keep her in a forest to keep her safe because she had special powers. And then this wolf comes and imitates the mother's song which was like the secret code to have the mother open for her. And when the wolf finally gets out to imitate, he kidnaps her, and so the mother has to go and rescue her. So you see the femininity coming out of all their stories. We've done other films where we've got one of our women who we've incubated in the past 2 incubators. She's deaf, and she created an AR application that teaches people sign language.
Can you tell us a little bit, how is the work with her? What were maybe surprises that you didn't think of, because she might have brought something to the table that people who are not deaf might have not thought about?
Yeah, so already just the learning with her. So she got a small grant. We facilitated it for her to get a small grant from Electric South, which is like one of our key players on the continent in terms of XR. So they give, they do residencies and calls, like regional residencies and calls. So she got in, and then she was working locally. So we were like the back end support here. And already the first thing we noted that, I think there were about 8 of them and they got grants, but hers, then, when you get that 5,000, you realize it's the least amount because she's going to need so much support around her. she would need an interpreter. She would need a shadow, of which I was volunteered as the shadow. Someone who knows what they're doing would then help explain things to her to say, okay, and all this was done virtually. So imagine you have your meeting in an hour, and then for her, you need to explain to her for like 6 more hours what exactly they're saying so that she gets it. So she needed a whole team like supporting her. She needed also someone who knew how to build the tech stuff that she needed, but with her also doing some components, because remember, she's learning, but then she also can't learn that fast. So you can't then say, oh, okay, you're learning now, can you code? Can you do this? Can you do that? So we needed support of someone who understood websites and coding and would then connect that to augmented reality. Mm-hmm. So it was quite a cool experience, because the things that we think of that this is going to be easy when it comes to sign language, when it comes to body movements, and then she said, people will be like, no, aesthetically just shoot from the waist upwards. But then she has to explain to you that, no, that doesn't work in sign language because it's an offense. You have to show the whole body. No, this application won't work. Because we're now building 3D, the fingers have to do the right things. So many things that we take for granted, that we think, oh, it's going to be easy. Yeah, you can just do this. But no, you can't just do that, because you're also, you're not being inclusive.
I think that's a wonderful example of what is also going on in the world of VR, because I remember also when I'm creating myself, it's super hard for a minute, because you can't deal with it simple with subtitles. I mean, of course, you could put subtitles into VR, but it's a whole different world where you're going to read the text and then you're in 360 degrees, and it's very different. So I think it's wonderful that you had the chance to develop something with a person that actually really is inside of the whole situation.
It really is. And, it's actually like, okay, you know what? We are actually communicating, but we are not using the usual modes of communication. We are not using our words. We are not talking. We have to use sign language, and we have to also make sure that the next person who understands sign language also gets it. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. You can actually look for her on Instagram. She does Siza sign language. I'll share the link with you so that maybe you can share with the people that are listening in on our podcast as well. And you can actually see that, from the point she started last year to where she is now, she's really advanced. So my hope is that she can actually be facilitated in a bigger incubation program, whereby they allow her, for the rest of the year just to create, just to have the right support around her, and I promise magic from her, because she's really into it.
Yes, we definitely have to share the link and show the people. Speaking of the people, if they hear this podcast and they want to get involved with Matamba Film Lab, what do they have to do to get in touch with you and to get involved?
Okay, so for starters, they have to follow us on our social media pages, on Matamba VR, TikTok and Twitter, but mainly we use Instagram and Facebook. So if you just look for Matamba Film Labs for women, you'll find us. And then on Instagram is Matamba_film_labs. Also on our website, Matamba Film Labs is one word, .com. You can find us as well. Or you can just reach out to us on our email accounts, matambafilmlabs@gmail.com. We still have a lot of work to do, because we opened up space trying to address some of those needs that the women had. We opened up a space which we have been running for over a year and a half now, and we are really proud of that. And then we also hosting our festival, our very first festival, which we're really proud of again, in October. So we are probably making noise about that on our social media pages, and we are still appealing for support to be able to do that, so that we can host a really cool festival and showcase experiences from all over the world of what people can do with virtual reality. So it's all eyes on us, because no one has done it in Zimbabwe. So first of all, they're looking at us like, oh, no one has done it in Zimbabwe. But secondly, they're looking at us and saying, do these women think they can do it? Like,
yes, I'm definitely sure you can do it.
And we've made so many connections even on social media, people following, like, just like the amazing thing that we connected with you as well on Facebook. I mean, it's that kind of support that we are getting from social media platforms that is like really cool. It means that people are endorsing our work. It means that people see us. It means that people believe in us. And it's really, really cool. It gives us the wings to continue to fly.
Where do you see the future in virtual reality in connection also with the woman that you're working with?
So our core right now is to create as much Afrocentric content as we can, because like what I keep saying, the world does not have enough of Africa. We've not had enough of African experiences, African stories, and not the stereotypes that the world media pushes. There's so much beauty, there's so much amazing experiences, and so much realities that we want to share with the world. So that's what we're just pushing our women now, that, what, we've talked, we've learned, now it's time to actually work and push ourselves. So again, we look forward to connecting with a lot more regional and global residencies and support, so that our women can go in and actually have facilities to be able to create that content. That is my deepest desire, to see this grow to that. We've got at least, okay, it's not going to be an army, but at least 50, at least 100 women that we've supported and inspired, to be able to actually, maybe some were scared, some thought, oh, if I start in this virtual reality, who will support me? We are right here. And, if we can, if we can share a headset, if we can, whatever we have, just so that we support women to grow. And one other thing I want to tell you actually is about our name, Matamba. So we do have this fruit that grows in Zimbabwe, in sub-Saharan Africa, in dry areas. And this fruit only ripens when there has been a good rainy season. It's only like in good climatic conditions that this fruit grows. So it actually indicates to us that, is there going to be drought? Is there not going to be drought? So they're called matamba, or they're called monkey oranges, I think, in English, I'm sure. So it needs the right climatic conditions. So that's where we took the name from, to say, what, we actually want to create the right climatic conditions for women, our women to thrive, our creative women, so that they grow. And, we leave no excuses behind that. Oh, I would have been a VR expert if only I had a headset. I would have been a VR expert if only I had a computer that could load Blender, or if only I had a safe space to work from, or if only I had someone to talk to about what I was trying to create. So we are that. We are Matamba, and that's what we stand for.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
That is great.
Thank you.
Siza, to give an overview of 3 things at the moment that you need most, what would that be?
Money.
Yes.
Will always be in need of money. Yeah, we need money. We need also computers that actually support gaming, that render real time, because as you know, the softwares that we work in, they need strong computers. So they're really expensive in Southern Africa. You can get a good one for about $2,000 or $3,000, which is beyond the reach of many of our women. So we're always in need of computers. We've been raising one at a time, but it's not enough, because so far I think we've only managed to get support of 4. So with the women that are now coming to us, we need computers in our 20s so that we can run properly our training stuff. And then we are also in need of headsets. Just I know we got some headsets, but some of them have been phased out. And then some of them we faced a robbery here, so we were robbed. So we lost like some really good ones.
God.
Yeah. After that, after all that, you get robbed. So we still need to replace them. We lost about 8 good ones, and that's a lot. for us, and then the others needed computer support that we can. So if we just have headsets that are freestanding, that don't really need as much support, that would really help, because it takes us far. We also need those for our festival.
So to anyone who's out there right now and who has an idea of helping you guys, please get in touch with Siza. Siza, it's been a wonderful talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For now, I just wish you a wonderful day.
Have a lovely day from Harare, Zimbabwe. And thank you so much, guys, for listening in. It's really good to connect with you all, and looking forward to all the connections.